So recently, a bill has been proposed. It's not a law yet, but it's been proposed that would put parents in jail of children who attack teachers, who hit teachers or fight teachers. They want to put the parents in jail for what that child does, okay? For doing anything violent against the teacher. Now, a lot of people are not on board with that. They talk about, they're talking about it's not the parents' fault and the parents aren't always there to straighten their children out, and children have a lot of issues, blah, 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 okay? So for the past, I'm going to say 20 years or so, I have been hearing multiple stories of children attacking their teachers. I have been seeing the videos. The kids, they now have phones and they videotape everything that goes on around them. And they've been videotaping numerous incidents of children fighting the teacher in the classroom. Now, I'm kind of up there in age. And when I was in school, grade school, high school, we wouldn't have even imagined putting our hands on a teacher, no matter what they say, no matter how mad they made us. Now, we might have said something smarter to her once or twice. I know I did, because when I was in Alabama going to school, those white teachers, I just got to put it out there, it is what it is, were very mean and towards the melanated students, or quote unquote black students in the school. I mean, very mean, very, very mean and unfair. But I would have never even thought about hitting one. I might have said a smart word or two here or there, but never that. These kids are going to school kicking butt. I mean, kicking the teacher's butt, throwing stuff at them and stuff like that. This is unacceptable, okay? It's not enough to put the kids out of school. The damage is done, all right? They assaulted a teacher. So definitely we have to take things a bit further. I agree with the proposed bill. Yeah. Why? How are you raising your child when, and they go to, what are you doing to your child that gives them the entitlement and the courage and the audacity to attack their teacher? What are you teaching them? Are you teaching them anything? You need to teach your kids to respect elders and authority, period. If you feel like a teacher wronged you, you talk to me. I'm your parent and I deal with the teacher. You don't say anything. You don't get up and try to fight your teacher. You don't throw nothing at a teacher. Like this one lady was talking about how a student threw something at her head. You don't do that. This is a problem that's coming from the homes. Now, people are saying, well, they won't let us spank our kids no more. So, well, that is not an excuse. All right. That is not an excuse for raising a child that thinks it's okay and don't mind attacking his or her teacher. Okay. That's not an excuse. You don't have to beat your child to death to teach them manners and respect. You don't have to do that. And also, if you're teaching your children manners and respect, you need to be an example of that, because children tend to do what you do and what you allow them to do rather than what you tell them, okay? They do what they see you do. So you need to be an example of that and dare them to say something out of the way to an adult. Dare them to get an attitude. And you need to mete out certain punishments. There are a lot of things that you can do. All right? So this is a result of a lack of good parenting. Why so many kids are turning out this way. So I work outside in a very popular tourist destination place. They call us street entertainers or whatever. And we have a lot of children that go out there and drum. Okay, so these kids could make 100 or more a day, working a few hours out there, and their parents take them out there every day. Why? Because they are helping to bring in money into the household. They're helping their parents keep a roof over their head. All right? Food on the table. I remember some years ago, I heard a lady say to her child, had to be her child. She said to him, he's a little drummer boy. She said, if you want something to eat tonight, you better get out here and drum. That's some serious work there. That is some serious stuff there, okay? Told her son, if you wanna eat tonight, you better get out here and drum. All right. And those kids can easily on a good day, a lot is going on, or maybe a lot of people are just in town at that time. It ain't really far-fetched for them to be able to make $500 or more for that day. I'm talking about kids as young as 8 and 9 years old. I have seen kids out there who were 5 and 6 out there drumming, because the younger they are, the more people are going to give them tips for drumming. All right. I don't think it's anything wrong with the kids out there. I really don't. But I think working them 7 days a week is unacceptable. Every time I go out there, they're out there. So these kids, most of them, I will say, are respectful. They go out there, they drum. Their parents have to be out there with them. They can't just drop them off and leave them. But there's one particular lady whose kids are just totally disrespectful and out of line, touching other people's property. You tell them to stop, they don't listen. One girl, she can't be no more than 8 or 9 years old. She might be 10. She might be 10. If you tell her to leave your stuff alone, or whatever, or kind of get loud with her because she's very disrespectful, she'll pay one of the other kids to knock your stuff off your table, knock your chairs down, take stuff from you. She 9 or 10 years old doing ruthless stuff like that. So she did that to me, and I told her mom, and first her mom kind of like tried to take up for her, but she said thank you for telling me. So I guess the other lady, the other mom that takes her kids out there, told her the truth. And so hopefully she did something about it, because I would hate to have to tell security out there what's going on, because they won't allow her to come and bring those kids back there. And I know that those kids are helping her out financially, her kids. She got about 3 out there drumming every doggone day. And what I don't understand is that they'll be out there, still be out there at 7, after 7 o'clock. Now, you know those kids need to be at home getting ready for school the next day. It is what it is. She's not a good parent. That's very bad parenting. She's the worst. And then there's another one. She's kind of bad too. She's out there with her grandchildren, and he's bad as hell, but he will listen to her. And I remember one day he was acting up. She said, I'm gonna get home. When I get home, I'm gonna beat him. I can't beat him out here because they'll put me in jail, but I'm gonna beat him. So I don't agree with beating kids, but they definitely need some discipline, verbal, maybe emotional, and definitely physical won't hurt. Okay, so I'm saying all of this to say that, now don't get mad at me, all right? It is what it is, okay? I'm saying this for particularly so-called black people here in America, black American people. You cannot afford to not properly train your children about how to properly interact with people out in the public. You cannot afford to not teach them to respect authority. You can't do that because these people look at our small children, the same children out there, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, as an adult. They see an adult, they don't see no child. And that's how they approach them. Look at that white lady that called that Somali, little 5-year-old Somali boy, N-word, just because he took a toy from her 3-year-old. Children do that. They do things like that. I'd have just took the toy back and maybe walked off or walked somewhere else or talked to the kids and say you have to share. This woman called that little 5-year-old boy, who is supposedly autistic too, a nigger. 5 years old, approaching him and calling him out of his name, a racial slur like she would a grown man or woman. I have never even heard a rumor of our people calling a little white child, a grown up now, I ain't talking about kid to kid, a grown up among our people calling a little white child or a Mexican child or Asian child a racial slur. I've never heard it. I've never heard the rumor of us doing such a thing. But this is what these people do. Look what they did to little Tamir Rice. Look what they did to, can't think of her name, but, well, that was a little bit more physical, but her, Sue Jadu killed a little 15-year-old girl. The girl did hit her. She hit her several times in the face and tried to walk off, and that Sue Jadu shot her in the back of her head. I don't know why I can't think of that little girl's name. And Sue Jadu got off scot-free. She did not pull a gun on that little girl while in combat with her. That little girl was walking away. So by law, she should have been accused of murder. You cannot kill somebody no matter what they did. Once they walk away, once they're no longer a threat, you cannot kill them. Latasha Harlan, that's what her name is. And then there's so many other stories where our children are adultified and approached as an adult. I remember being a little 9 and 10-year-old girl being called a nigger by grown-ass Mexican and white people, particularly white and Mexican women. I remember taking my 9 to 10 years old, we had 2 little Mexican friends, Ramona and her brother, I don't remember his name. So it was late at night and we were walking them home, okay, from the playground. So we walked them home and her mother, they knocked on the door. Her mother opened the door for them, looked at me and called me nigger a couple of times. All we did was walk her children home. That's all we did. That's all I did. She was calling me and the other black children niggers. Okay? So this is how these people do our children. You think you're the only one who deal with racism? You better talk to your children. They got some stories for you. And children don't always come back and tell these stories. You have to talk to your kids. Don't assume they not experience this from these warped-minded, I'm just going to say devils. sick-minded people. These people are sick and twisted. Okay? So going back to this little 5-year-old Somali boy, people all across America, maybe the world, set up a fund for her through I think a Catholic charity, for this woman who called this little 5-year-old boy an N-word for taking her 3-year-old son's toy. And so far, the fund is almost $1 million. So these people, these sick, twisted, psychotic people are rewarding her for what she did to a 5-year-old child. Online, they're talking about, you guys are just too sensitive. You're just a bunch of, victims. You're a perpetual victim. Why you let a word do this and that to you and get you upset? But wait a minute, you better not call their 5-year-old child a racial slur indicative of their particular race or ethnicity. You better not do it. Only God knows what will happen to you. Not only if they call the police on you or just curse you out, you'll be lucky. They'll be ready to do something to you violently. They gonna mete out some violence against you if you call their child a racial slur. You're gonna get cursed out, beat up, something, police called on you, all that stuff. While they're talking, they know they would never accept us coming at their kids like that. They wouldn't say, oh baby, that's just a word, come on, let's go. 5-year-old white girl, you'll hear her father and mother ain't gonna say, just don't worry, come on, don't, that's just a word. They're gonna do something about it. All right, so y'all gotta, you can't allow, you just gotta, you should teach your children manners and respect for authority anyway. All right, nobody should have to tell you this, but especially being the parents of melanated children, deeply melanated children, quote unquote black kids, you better tell them, because these people will approach a child doing child things like an adult, and then you won't have a child no more. You really should keep your kids away from these people as much as possible, because all of them are not like that. All of them might not end up hurting or disrespecting your children verbally, but a lot of them, some of them will. So you don't know who's who. You got to protect your children by teaching them to stay in a doggone child's place. I remember when I was a child, my mom and her friends used to always say we would go over a particular friend's house, and me and my brothers would play with her son, and we would be getting too loud, and her and my mama would say, kids are to be seen and not heard. So in other words, shut your mouth, get in the corner and be quiet. They told us that. Y'all need to tell your kids that too. All right? And stop putting them on the front line to fight people who are stronger than them, outwit them, and don't see their life as valuable. Your child's life is not valuable in the eyes of these evil people. So you don't have to step up to the plate and teach your children right, which you should be doing anyway, okay? So I just wanted to make this video and put this out. Please don't be mad at me for saying this, okay? Do the work and raise children. Focus on your kids and raise children that will be a positive asset to society, and also raise them in a way that they're most likely to not end up unalived by a demon who don't see even the value in a 5-year-old child's life and safety. Okay, peace, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and share, support the channel. I need you to really, really support this channel. Subscribe. I appreciate y'all.